We're live.
Oh, hey, Internet. I wasn't expecting to see you here today. This week, Edward Snowden continued his global quest to evade American authorities, but the Internet was more concerned with another more pressing search: a red panda escaped from the DC Zoo. Where is the panda? Microsoft did a 180 on the Xbox One, going back to 360-era rules on used games. If you followed that sentence, congratulations, you're a gamer. And North and South Korea are at war, virtually speaking. All this and an artist whose song was played 1 million times on Pandora, who got a $16 check from the service on today's episode of Technophilia. I hope you'll join us right now in the chat room below, or if you're listening on iTunes, hello from the past. With me today, from the UK, is my friend James Bruce. How you doing, James?
Hello. I was going to say I'm feeling dirty for having to broadcast from my Windows 8 machine, but I don't. I finished defragging my Mac. It's back to its lovely self again.
Oh, so you're on your Mac. You're where you belong.
I am.
Windows 8's not that dirty. It's all in clean little sterile boxes. It's okay.
Well, let's just say I got pretty much nothing done while I was trying to use it today.
Also with me today from Connecticut is Dave LeClaire, game collector extraordinaire. How you doing, Dave?
Oh, you know, just hanging out, doing a podcast with some two dudes who I'm not that fond of, but I talk to them every week anyway. The usual.
So if you're new, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Justin Pott. I'm in Boulder, Colorado, and you are listening to Technophilia. Keep doing that. We have a lot of fun on the show here. We talk about the week's technology news. We're going to go over the top news on Make Use Of, first of all, and then we're going to go over stories from around the web. We'll talk about some giveaways that are happening and talk about what we've been up to. We hope to have many guests in the weeks to come. We hope that you will join us, though, in the chat, letting us know what we should talk about. And you can join us on Facebook and Twitter. We'll get all that information up to you a little later. But for now, gentlemen, should we just get to it?
No, we should waffle around, like talk about random nonsense, and then, you know, eventually get to the good stuff.
Do we have a predetermined waffle topic today?
We don't have a predetermined
Why not
waffle
make
topic.
it waffles?
Because I'm UK.
something.
We don't really do that.
You don't eat waffles?
No,
There's no waffles in the UK.
I always
And
knew
the
you were a bad
waffles are
person.
our waffle topic. It's a
I always knew you were a
Should
bad
they be in the
person,
UK?
James.
Why aren't they in the UK? Your opinions below. I guess there's no decent syrup you can get in the UK. You don't really grow sugar. You don't have maple trees. I mean, what would you put on waffles if you had them? I don't even know. What do Belgians put on waffles?
I could get maple syrup.
Oh, you can from the
Cost a
colonies.
bomb though.
Oh, okay.
We have to import them from the colonies, you know.
From the
Quite a
colonies.
while.
The colonies.
You're in the colony, fool. So am I. If you didn't know, this week, for the first time ever, we are part of MakeUseOf.com. Now, this is a site you have known because we've talked about it in the past if you're a long-time technophiliac. But this means that we're just in a new domain, but everything else should pretty much stay the same, except we're going to be a little happier, I think. That's about it, right?
Hopefully.
I mean, that's the main change.
Don't expect any more happiness from me, actually. You can forget that right now.
Okay, so
James
James's
reached maximum
happiness will
quota a
stay
long
at
time
its
ago.
fan favorite low level. Dave, your happiness level increase, decrease?
Increase, because
Yeah.
I know that James is not getting any happier, which makes me happy.
So you're happier, I'm happier, James isn't happier. This really could not have worked out any better. We're pretty psyched about this. Let's get to the top news of the week then from MakeUseOf.com. I don't know. I'm really off my game. I'm really nervous, guys. This is a huge audience we have right now. Google Reader dies in like 5 days. It's gonna be gone forever. Google's just gonna mercilessly slaughter it out behind the barn at the Google headquarters up in California.
I really need to do something about that. I still haven't done anything.
About Google Reader, yeah, you don't need a plan.
I'm still using it.
If you don't have a plan at all whatsoever, Google Reader users can switch to Feedly right now, and at the very least, all of their feeds will be saved somewhere, because Feedly, as of today, or as of this week, basically, or last week. I'm sorry, I'm really stuttering like a fool today.
At some point in the history of time.
Yeah, at some point in the past week, they set up their own cloud. So everything in Feedly is now in the Feedly service. It's not reliant on Google Reader anymore. So if you import your stuff there, it's going to work. They've been doing everything they can to court the power users. They added support for various third-party clients, which no one else has right now because all these other services seem to be driving people to their own site as part of their strategy. Feedly is putting up a protocol and an API, and that's kind of good. They've also got their if this, then that channel up right now, meaning you can set all kinds of crazy advanced rules to happen when you tag an article or star it. So if you're a power user, Feedly's pretty much the only game in town. Am I right, Dave?
Yeah, I switched to Feedly so long ago that I actually thought that Google Reader had already closed. Like when I saw this, I was like, oh, it's still going? I thought it ended like a month ago. So yeah,
No.
I've just been using Feedly and it's been fine. I didn't even notice a change. I just
Well, there you go. It's seamless. They will grab your stuff. So if you have not done this yet, you should, James, if only so that all your feeds are somewhere.
I'm holding out on something that will actually work with the OS X reader, because everyone seems to be going mad for web interfaces. I don't want a web interface. I hate web apps. I want something that API.
He wants something that uses up his RAM.
Feedly has an API, and right now they're the only game in town with a working API. It doesn't work with Reader for the desktop yet. I thought that was coming, isn't it?
It should be coming, but there's still no more. That's why I'm holding out. I'm going to hold out to the 29th, and then I'll give up.
Okay. And then Feedly's servers will be down and the import won't work. But you can download your feeds directly from Google Reader if you want. There's an export feature. I don't know if that will work after Google Reader goes down, but I would.
I bet you Google keeps that up for a while.
The service where you can grab your feeds.
I doubt it.
I'm sure.
I bet they do.
So yeah, their if this then chat channel is up, and they've got their own cloud up and running. So Project Normandy is a go. That's the place to go. But if you want to check out, well, you know, a web company you absolutely don't trust with your RSS feeds, you should check out AOL's new Google Reader replacement. Every washed-up company, from Dig to AOL, is apparently legally obligated at this point to offer some kind of Google Reader replacement. I missed that bill in Congress. I don't know when it was passed. But yeah. So AOL is launching a Google Reader replacement. Have you tried this, Dave, or have you just been with Feedly so long that you don't care?
Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't need to try anything else. So I've been thinking about trying the Dig one. That I heard that might be pretty good, but I'm definitely not going to mess with the AOL. I don't. But it makes sense. I mean,
surprisingly,
it's their attempt to become relevant again. They see an open hole that needs to be filled, and it's like, well, we can fill that hole, but
what does AOL do now? Are they?
AOL primarily sells internet access to paraplegics.
I was going to say
they still do internet access.
No, I think they actually
they
do.
sell their thing to old people. Like I still know old people who use AOL because when they started using the internet, that was the interface that they were comfortable with, and they still use it.
That's part of their business. They have they have about 500,000 legacy users, and they keep trying to launch.
That's part of their business. We sell to old people.
We sell internet.
AOL CDs.
We sell internet to people who don't know better. And if you're an AOL customer, I've got a hot tip for you. There are other companies to buy internet from. Also, how are you listening to a podcast if you're on AOL? That's amazing. That's incredible.
56K podcast. We must look like
little
just pixels. We're like 4 pixels to them.
If the stream's not working, update your real player. The interface actually looks pretty clean. It's not the ad-riddled nightmare I was picturing when I saw AOL. So good on them. They made something that looks pretty good. It looks clean. It looks like it might be fast. I'm not going to try it, but you can. Let us know in the comments if you like it. Moving right along then. Here's a fun one for me to say. Twitter now notifies you when someone favorites a tweet that mentions you. Did you understand that? No? Let's move along then. No, basically this just is Twitter trying to increase the level of conversation you can have. If you're on Facebook, Facebook I complain about in a lot of ways, but it's pretty clear when a conversation's happening. Things are threaded. You can follow what's going on. Well, you used to. They kind of changed that recently. And you can like things. And when someone likes something, you see it, even if it's not your comment. Like if someone likes a response to one of your comments. This is bringing some of that to Twitter. I'm still not convinced it's going to be clear for the average person to understand, but it's a step.
I don't understand why people favorite tweets. I don't get it. I see my tweets get favorited, and I'm like, what are you favoriting it for? You're going to go back and read that tweet in 2 years and be like, I remember when Psydoc said that. That was awesome.
I think it's a way of acknowledging stuff. It's a way of acknowledging that a tweet was cool.
But see,
And
when
then
you
later
like
you can go
something on
back and just be
Facebook,
like so happy that
when
all
you
this
like
happened.
when you like something on Facebook, it's not stored forever. You don't go
Yeah.
back and say like, look at all the things I liked. But when you favorite something,
That's
on
true.
Facebook,
It's
you're
not
actually,
exactly it's not
bookmarking
exactly
it.
equivalent. One of the nice things with favorites, you can combine it with this, then that, and do all kinds of cool stuff. If you're using Twitter as a research tool, you could favorite things that link to things you think might be relevant, and they would show up in other places. There's lots of things you could use it, but yeah, Twitter with most features doesn't really define what they're for. They just kind of let their users decide that. They just do stuff. So this is a way for you to know when someone favorites something, though, whatever that means. No one really knows what it means. And another story here, Google is improving local search. Dave, you have called this story uninteresting, but I'm going to rely on you to report on it.
So basically, when you type in something that Google could see is local, it puts a nice little carousel of images below the search bar so you can see what you're searching for. So if you type in like Chinese food,
I
it'll
just
show
searched
you.
Mexican food Boulder, and I am seeing.
If you have location enabled, you don't even have to type Boulder. If Google knows where you are, if you just type Mexican food, it will know that that's something that could be local. And there it is.
How do I do this? Google.
Just type
I don't know if it works for foreigners, James.
If
But it's
Google
pretty
knows
cool.
your location, just type in like something that it could see as local, like a food
It's
place.
a great visual overview, and I am sure any local SEO experts are just like so excited right now they can't believe it. Like, it's just got to be blowing their frickin' minds about the opportunity if you can get into the top left. So I'm sure lots of people will charge $75 an hour promising local companies to get up to the top there.
Yeah, so
I'm
if I
not
just type in
seeing
I
this.
like,
predict this.
This is
does
very
Google-
sad.
Does Google know your location? Oh, you know what? Actually,
Yeah,
I believe the story says, which I wrote says that it's only in the United States.
Oh, it knows where I am because if I type Chinese food near me, then it finds a bunch. But
This
it
feature
doesn't
is
give me
currently
this
only
nice
available in English for users based in the United States. Google has not given word regarding when it will be released to other locations around the world.
Well, that's
So there you go.
Right.
So you can't use it, James. Haha, Google's racist.
America. Google's racist. Well, no, to be fair, if he was here, he could use it. No, it would detect that he's British and just
Google's nationalist.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I got briefly kicked out. I don't know if anyone noticed.
No.
No,
I noticed.
No one, don't turn on screen sharing and turn it off again, because then it just breaks. Great job, Google. Well, I'm glad they've shut down Reader, because now they can focus on fixing Google Hangouts, right? Now they can make their stuff unstable. Oh, one thing I did notice about AOL's Google Reader replacement is it's in beta. So, you know, they're just like Google now. They're just a hip company living on the edge, putting out stuff that isn't ready.
You can't launch a product without it being beta.
AOL's basically they used to be the definition of launching something. You wouldn't launch it until it's out of beta. You would test it internally.
No.
That's not how people do things anymore.
No.
It's not a lie. Portal for Linux is out of beta, so if you're a Linux user and you want to play the very best first-person shooter / puzzler mashup that 2007 has to offer, well, you're there. Yes, it's admittedly a little far behind, but Valve is making a huge effort to try to get as many of their games onto Linux as possible because they see Windows 8 as a travesty. They're not happy that Microsoft has a little store button on the homepage. They want to be that little store button, and they think they can do that on Linux. Do you think this is going to work out for them long term, James, or is PC gaming dead as we know it?
So is this just Portal or is it Steam?
Steam has been on Linux for a while.
Okay.
And there's about 100 games you can buy on it. Some from Valve,
you
some
can only
not.
buy Portal, right? No. Okay, so you
No,
can buy
there's
other
like
games.
100 games on it right now. Yeah.
Are they like real games or are they kind of Linux standard games? You know what I mean?
No,
They're
the
mostly
Linux standard
Valve
games
games.
you get free. There's mostly Valve games, but there's a lot of independent ones too. There's no like,
Half-Life and Counter-Strike and no Dota though.
no, they're working on it. They're working like there's rumors that Portal 2 will be the next to be released. That would obviously be a much bigger deal. Portal was not a very long game and basically a trial, but it's friggin' cool. So if you're a Linux gamer, and there might potentially be one of you out there in the world somewhere, There you go. I'm being told in the chat that being kicked out of the Hangouts is what you get for searching for Mexican food. Well, I don't know where you live, buddy, but here Mexican food's pretty great. So maybe you just live somewhere where it sucks.
I don't like Mexican food.
You live in Connecticut. Of course you don't like Mexican food. It's terrible there. Yeah.
I can make some
Hispanics
racist
live.
jokes right now, but I'm gonna not make those racist.
Good job.
Hey, we're being called boring. Move it along, people. Move it along.
Okay. Where in the world is Edward Snowden is what I would sing here if I had the musical chops, but I don't. So instead, I'm just going to quote someone. I lack the speaking capabilities to quote properly. I know I don't have the gravitas, but here we go. In no sense do I advocate evading or defying the law, as would the rabid segregationalist. That would lead to anarchy. One who breaks an unjust law must do so openly, lovingly, and with a willingness to accept the penalty. I submit that an individual who breaks a law that conscience tells him is unjust, and who willingly accepts the penalty of imprisonment in order to arouse the conscience of the community over its injustice, is in reality expressing the highest respect for law. That's Martin Luther King in 1963, writing from Birmingham jail. He wrote the letter while in prison for his demonstrations in Alabama, and if you haven't read it, you should. I'm not sure if Edward Snowden's read this note, but I think he should too. History will debate whether leaking data on NSA programs was right, and while I personally feel it was right, that's not what I'm interested in today. I'm interested in his decision to run away afterwards. Now, if all of us needed to live up to Martin Luther King, none of us would get out of bed in the morning. I certainly wouldn't. But when you decide to take matters of law into your own hand, as Snowden has, these words should resonate. When you decide to take history into your own hands, these words should resonate. Because if Snowden feels, as he has stated, that he's done nothing wrong, the law should be on his side, even if it isn't. I believe him. I want to believe him. But his actions hurt his case. King here argues that part of protesting unjust laws is accepting their unjust penalties. It's why he's writing from jail in Birmingham instead of a hotel room in Hong Kong or Russia or Cuba. King was unjustly treated by his government and as such showed the segregationist system to be the deeply flawed system it was. Snowden, meanwhile, is hopping around the world to evade his punishment. Again, I feel leaking the data was the right thing to do, but I feel he could convince more people if he would willingly accept the punishment for his actions. We're a generation that thinks we can change the world by clicking and dragging files from one server to the other, but it's not that simple. Data doesn't change the world, people do. Actions do. If Martin Luther King ran away instead of going to prison, if Nelson Mandela left South Africa, history would have had a different course. King's means of protest changed America for the better. If Snowden really believes America should have better, he should show it. I feel his points would be better made if he leaked details about the program openly, lovingly, and with a willingness to accept the penalty. But that's just Martin Luther King. What do you think? Is Snowden's worldwide escapades undermining his moral high ground? Get in touch right here in the chat. James, what do you think?
I think you're mad if you think he should have stayed in America. He would obviously have been tortured by your horrendous government, just like the army guy is right now. Where is he? Guantanamo Bay? No one wants to go there.
He's not in Guantanamo Bay.
Well, whatever. He's been tortured, and that's exactly what your government would do to Snowden if they get his hands on him. I think he'd be mad to go back.
I think he should. I think he should. I mean, I think it wrecks the moral high ground.
You think he should get tortured? What's wrong with you?
I think he should willingly. I mean, you heard the point I just made. I think it undermines his point if he leaks this data and then just takes off. I think it makes the case for freedom of speech harder. It makes it so the government will lock this data down further. It makes the world less transparent if he runs away immediately after leaking this stuff. Because now they're just going to trust this information with fewer people. It's making the system worse. I think he should be protected for leaking, and I think that the government here is better than you give it credit for, especially when it's called out by the people. If the people don't care, yeah, shit will go down. And if you just run away instead of publicly standing up for your rights, people aren't going to care. And
who was the guy who leaked the to WikiLeaks? What's happened to him? Tell me.
Bradley Manning. He's locked up, but there is a mass protest movement to get him out, and I think it's.
But it doesn't help because he's still going to stay locked up, and he's not really enjoying that. In fact, the rest of the world has confirmed it's torture.
I mean, if they're going to torture him, That's unfortunate, but I do think it undermines his point if he just keeps running away. That's just what I
think it makes him human to not want to be tortured.
I mean, there used to be this notion, and maybe I'm old-fashioned, but if you want to make a difference, you have to sacrifice something. We are a generation that feels sacrifice is unnecessary. We should be famous right now. We just need to put shit on Twitter. We should change the world by hitting the like button. And we can make society better just by uploading data to the right server. I think it's more complicated than that. I think you have to accept the consequences of your action. And if you feel that what you're doing is just, you have to believe that doing so will make the world more just. This is how change happens in America. Do you think Martin Luther King was stupid to stay in Alabama? Is that what you're telling me? Do you think Nelson Mandela should have gotten the hell out of South Africa? Is that what you're telling me? Like,
I didn't study American history in school, so I can't really talk about that.
Well, you don't. Nelson Mandela is not American. I gave you a pretty
for
universal point.
What are we talking about again? Yeah, I don't know.
These figures, because they were arrested, because they willingly accepted the unjust punishment for what they did, changed public opinion, changed the world. I don't think Snowden will have the same staying power in history because of his decision to take off. That's all I'm saying, and I think it says something about our generation. But we don't have to stay this heavy. We can move on to the news unless Dave has something to add. Dave?
No, not really. This is out of my scope of knowledge. This is too deep for me, man.
Oh, we like to do a lot of diverse things. Looking at the comments, it seems like there is a bit of a problem with the stream. We apologize. I'm sure Google Gremlins are working on it. If you can see me, hello. We're going to move on to the headlines now. And now we will move to an area that Dave can talk about knowledgeably. Dave?
So Microsoft decided that its DRM, always online stuff, and use game restrictions that everybody in the world was angry about. Maybe they had a reason to be angry because Microsoft completely turned around and said, nope, on second thought, use games will work exactly how they worked on the Xbox 360, and your life will stay exactly the same as it used to be, sort of. So I actually am disappointed by this news. I'm quite sure that I am in the minority here. But I like the idea.
I'm seeing this opinion pop up more because now you have to have the disc physically in the tray to play the game, even if it's installed to the hard drive.
Right, which I was actually excited about the proposition of just being able to just have my, put the disc in once. This way I can still have a physical copy because as you can see if you look behind me, I like physical copies. But I can also just put the physical copy on the shelf and never touch it again. And now you can't do that anymore. So
it feels like they just read a little too much into Reddit, and it makes me really sad as well. Like you just go to the front page of Reddit, our gaming, and it was all against the Xbox One. It feels like they read that and they were like, oh.
So I saw an opinion. Sure. I saw an opinion article somewhere that basically said Henry Ford was told if he gave the people what they wanted, he would have made a faster carriage for horses. Because that's what people were asking for, But
exactly.
he made a car instead. And if you could make the argument that Microsoft is giving up 7 years of innovation just for the will of the crowd. At the same time, I feel like if I own a physical disc, I'd like to be able to lend it to a friend. And I don't care about issues as DRM as much as I used to, because I kind of feel like we've lost the war on that one. But I like simplicity, and I think things should work. And I think a system where I have to register online in order to play a game I borrowed from a friend isn't simple and doesn't work. So while I don't feel they should have reversed completely necessarily, I think they could have done better with explaining what they were trying to do at launch.
But you're thinking about it in a disc-based world. If you could borrow that game off of the friend without ever having even got the game off them, you could just see what games your friends had and click on that and be like, okay, now I'm playing this game and I can play it for 24 hours or whatever, and it doesn't matter. I don't have to. That's cool. The point is that they emphasized these DRM bits of it without actually releasing any information about the cool stuff that they could have done with it.
Yes.
There was so much of the stick with none of the carrot.
A moot point if you buy your games online, which both Sony and Microsoft will be offering, and those limitations will all be in effect for the online games. Can you lend an online game without a disc to a friend. Is that possible?
Can you lend? Well, no.
No.
And they would have allowed this. This is part of what it would have allowed.
They would have allowed you to lend games online.
I believe so, but we won't know now because they backed down on it, and it's really sad.
In the comments, we got a question: is the Xbox One previous gen games compatible? No. No. The online games you bought will not work with the Xbox One and any physical games you have. Yeah,
it's a completely different architecture. It's based on PCs rather than I think it was ARM before, wasn't it?
The only console with reverse compatibility is the Wii U, whose name I just forgot, and I'm a Nintendo fanboy. So what does that say?
I think people need to. I think we need to accept that the days of backwards compatibility is it's not a thing anymore. It's done.
Except for Nintendo.
And I mean,
because the DS still is the 3DS is still backwards compatible too, right? Like they're the only ones still doing it.
It's so weird that we're really happy to accept DRM on things like Steam and Netflix. But console gamers are just so whiny little idiots.
Steam gave enough advantages to make the DRM not so bad. If you have a Steam account, your games show up automatically on all your systems. If Microsoft came out and said, hey, with this, if you sign into an account, you'll have access to all your games on whatever device you want, then yeah, people probably would have been pretty psyched. There was so many downsides, and the benefits were not clearly articulated.
That's the main thing. Is it was more the message than anything. They didn't. They sold you on what they basically said. This is what you're not getting, instead of focusing on what you're getting. It wasn't like, well, now you don't put discs in the drive anymore. It's like they focused on the, well, now you can't loan your games out, and now you can't sell them. They focused on what people were losing, which is just like marketing 101 right there. It's just, you focus on what they're getting, not what they're losing.
Yeah, so that was Microsoft failing at marketing? What?
But in the end, I don't think it had anything to do with
To be fair, this is
Reddit.
the company that spent $2 billion advertising Windows 8, and we all know how much people love that. I mean, yeah.
But really, I don't think it had anything to do with Reddit or people's opinions. I'm guessing that they were getting absolutely crushed in pre-orders, and then they went, shit.
Yeah, I blame. It's Sony took advantage of a situation. More power to them. I mean,
and they did. See, now they got the message out in the right way. They went and said they focused on, even though their system didn't have the ability to play games without putting the disc in, they went and focused on all the things that were positive for the gamer, which is what Microsoft completely failed to do. So, even when they announced that they were changing, they almost kind of like. They were almost like then they were still focusing more on what you're losing. They were almost like, yeah, well, you bitches got what you want, and now you have to put discs in every time. You know, like even when they were doing what they wanted, they were like shoving it in your face, like, yeah,
they
take
couldn't
that,
help but be dicks about. Yeah, okay, we're not going to do this thing we wanted to do because screw you guys.
The system's going to suck now because of you people, you jerks.
Yeah, we can't have the nice things.
It wasn't even the DRM that annoyed me about the Xbox One. It's the dumbass TV interface stuff, which they still emphasize. You know, the whole sports TV stuff.
Yeah, but
like,
you don't
I
have
a
to
60
use
meg
any
connection. I don't really care if it's going to phone home.
Well, that was for the broader world because, believe it or not, most humans on the planet do not care about video games. This was an attempt to get the Xbox into more houses. Pierre Letopo says, the only part of the DRM that bugged me is the internet connectivity requirement. Contrary of what companies want to say, broadband penetration is awful in the U.S. Totally agree, man.
Sadly, you're going to have a day one update to get this because obviously they've started producing the Xbox One already. All the firmware has been burned to the chips. So in order to backtrack back to this no DRM stuff, you actually have to do a bit of DRM, a bit of updating first on the internet.
That doesn't surprise me anyway, though. I mean, if you think about like almost every game when it comes out has a day one update. It's pretty par
It's going to be a pretty big update, though, I think, if it's trying to replace the whole system.
Yeah. So if you wanted this change, though, because you don't have a steady internet connection, you're going to take your shiny new Xbox home and you're going to have to update the software before you can play games offline.
Yeah, and it will not work.
Ah, man, they are they are crushing it with this. I would love to talk about the Xbox all day, but let's
you could buy an updated one on
welcome to SpamBot64. You are always welcome here. I look forward to hearing about your Viagra and hopefully Canadian pharmacies from my homeland. That would be very, very exciting for me.
Oh, I wonder who that is, Canon.
So there was a lot of stuff with a lot of gravity going on in the past week. I'm still mad at Microsoft for announcing their change on the used games thing 1 hour after our show last week. They knew we were going to make fun of them. They knew it. And they didn't want us to be able to be timely about it. But earlier this week, the internet was fascinated with a red panda that escaped from the zoo. Now, Dave, I don't know if you acknowledge this truth, but red pandas, cutest creatures on Earth. You can Google that. No, what is cuter than a red panda? I'm mad now. What's cuter than a red panda, jackass?
My ferret's cuter than that.
No! What? Your ferret is...
Damn, my chickens are cuter than that.
Dave, back me up here. A ferret is not cuter than a red panda.
I've seen cuter things, but I can't... I'm trying to think of what it was that was an animal that was really cute.
It was a red panda. Of course it was a red... Just go onto YouTube and search for a red panda, and I challenge you to, after that experience, see what you think is the cutest animal. Anyways, people who know what a red panda is know with 100% certainty that this is the cutest creature on the face of the planet. Pandas, like regular Chinese pandas, suck. Hate them. They're no good. Red panda's way better.
The red panda looks like a fox.
It's the best fox. It's the best possible version of a fox. This is my most controversial point of the week. Like, panda's cuter than every other creature.
Is it? What exactly is it? Is it a bear? Is it a marsupial? Is it a?
It's a red panda. Look it up on Wikipedia if you want the details. I'm going to talk about this story, okay? One escaped from the zoo in Washington, D.C., the National Zoo, and so Microsoft, terrible at PR. National Zoo in D.C., great at it. They said, hey, our red panda's missing. It might be sick. If you guys can help look for it, that would be great. And Twitter went nuts, especially in Washington, D.C. People all over were like, possible sightings, and then it was found. So temporary panic, but internet, he was restored to the D.C. Zoo. He is eating bamboo, which is what he likes to do. And it had a happy ending, so it's good. I did see there was one D.C. paper had the best headline ever with Edward Snowden, and it said lost in big letters, and then the red panda found. I'm like, that is the greatest headline. That's the greatest front page in a newspaper in years. That should win some kind of an award. But that's it. For more red panda. Yeah.
Half of those possible sightings on Twitter were probably completely made up by people who wanted to jump on the thing, right?
Almost certainly, yeah.
So how did they find it? If did they just? I reckon they just ignored Twitter completely and they waited until someone phoned them.
It's unclear, but Twitter went nuts. But as usual, it didn't accomplish anything.
Exactly.
Oh wait, Spambot64 is telling me we can buy pandas here. Thanks, Spambot. I
forgot to link.
But I don't want a regular panda though. I want a red panda. Oh wait, there was a photo of the red panda put on Twitter by someone who did see it. This is clearly not faked. Yeah. I should go to the other room and get my stuffed red panda, but I don't think I'll do that quite yet.
I just coughed and hiccuped. Sorry.
Here's a bit of more illegal news, which I know technophiliacs are just obsessed with, and they love it when I get serious. There's been a long division between the United States and Europe on the issue of the right to be forgotten. In Europe, it's considered a right by many that if you commit a crime, for example, you have the right, once you've done your debt to society, fulfilled it, for that to disappear from the public consciousness. Google makes that impossible. Google does not recognize this right, and for a long time people in Europe have been fighting to have it. Well, the EU Advocate General has said clearly, according to Slashdot, that you do not have the right to be forgotten. I don't know where the Brits usually fall on this issue, but I don't see why anyone should have a right to be forgotten. It doesn't make sense to me. If you do, let me know in the comments. But James, do you have a right to be forgotten?
Well, I think part of the problem is things like Facebook, where it keeps your data even after you close your account, just in case you might want to reopen it at some point in the future. Which, no, that's not what deleting an account means, Facebook.
They keep their data there, and if you come back, it's all waiting for you. Your friends?
You should have a right to delete stuff when you press delete.
Okay, that's one thing. The other arguments also... Sorry, I'm kind of stumbling here. They also say, like, if you commit a crime, newspapers should delete the story from the server, say 10 years later, so that it doesn't show up.
Yeah, and then that kind of thing, that I don't think that should. No.
Yeah, I mean, this is something I feel too. A lot of Europeans feel differently. Maybe we could have one on the show later to discuss it from their point of view, because it's not something I completely can get my head around, because I live on the internet, and if you do something, it's there forever, and there's nothing you can do about it. Even if you delete something that you put on Facebook, I mean, odds are, even if Facebook doesn't keep it, someone else grabbed it.
I mean, if I put
a photo of my sexy bod up there, I fully expect all my female friends to have saved it to their hard drive. I mean, that's just how this works. So, like, the internet's
That's
a copy.
good assumption.
Right? Yeah.
We did have a problem with this in the UK where, say, like a 14-year-old kid would get done for thieving something from Virgin Megastore, and then like 20 years later, it would stop them from getting a job. And it was. I think we pretty much decided that little stuff shouldn't be remembered, but big stuff should.
Little stuff shouldn't be remembered.
Fair enough.
So.
I mean, if a 14-year-old kid kills someone, don't forget that.
Yeah.
Don't forget that, please.
There was, I think we talked about this before, the CEO of Google. Oh, no, it was Sergey. Sergey from Google, not the CEO, was one of the founders, who said maybe at some point in the future it could just become normal when you turn 25 to legally change your name so that you could drop your Google, your history would just reset from there. But I'm like, well, then there's just going to be some site, like WikiLeaks-esque, that just has a massive list of people's old and new names. So that's not going to do anything. That's not going to be useful at all. I'm lucky in this because if you search Justin Pot, all you get is Justin Bieber smoking pot. So I'm set. Thanks, Internet. No one can ever find me. That's a
good plan, actually. If you want to forget yourself, just change your name to some famous guy. No one's ever going to care about you again.
Every time Justin Timberlake or Justin Bieber smokes pot, I have an RSS alert for myself because I'm a raving egoist. And, yeah, I get all kinds of crap related to them smoking weed in there, so that's good. I also get lots of Twitter followers that seem to think I'm a marijuana advocate, so that's fun, too. For the record, pot, my name, not a nickname, not a recreational activity I enjoy. I'm not against it. I'm just not that into it. It's like Phil Collins. I see why he exists. I understand why he exists. I'm not personally taking him up as a habit.
All right, moving on to more nakedness.
Oh, this is great. You can now see Snapchat, which is a famous service that teenagers use to share naked pictures of each other. I guess maybe it's used by criminals sometimes too, because Valleywag has a copy linked to of a PDF that Snapchat sends to law officials about how to request conversation logs from the company. With the recent NSA leaks, we know that there are plenty of ways in which law enforcement officials are requesting information from companies. This is just Snapchat seemingly voluntarily giving the information up, and here's a list for it. Now, apparently your dick pics aren't going to show up, like the cops aren't going to see those, but they will see who you sent them to. What do you think, James?
Can they actually not see the photos?
Apparently not. I'm not altogether clear on whether they'd want to see the photos anyways. Wouldn't that technically make them child pornography owners?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. It probably would.
So. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. So Snapchat, not as secure as you think. Also, screenshots exist, so that shit's going to be saved.
Well,
Don't
the
use
question
Snapchat.
is, who really thought Snapchat was that secure, though? You say not as secure. I never.
This isn't like a huge scam. How can we as a society stand if Snapchat's not secure? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not surprising. It's a service primarily used by kids.
So no. Check this out. If an image or video has not been viewed, it remains on the Snapchat server for 30 days. At which point it's removed. So they can look at it, but only if you haven't looked at it. Oh God, that's weird.
Well,
I'm confused.
I guess. But if the cops look at it, does it remove it from the server? That's the real question. Because maybe the cops are doing us favors. Maybe that's why you only get the good-looking photos. The cops. Who knows? Who knows? But kids. I've got some advice for you. If you want to send a naked picture of yourself to a crush or a loved one, don't. Cool. Okay.
Send it over iMessages.
No.
Encrypted. What? No.
Don't. Just don't. Get together and be naked in person. That's secure, unless your mom has cameras in your room, in which case this is going to get weird.
A way to be down on long-distance relationships, Justin.
I did it for a year. You can talk. Yeah, I don't know.
You can Skype naked, but then what if they take a screenshot of you Skyping naked?
There you go. Well, then it's all...
Remember,
it's all...
Microsoft can see everything you do on Skype and regularly sends it to the NSA.
Yeah, when I was in a long-distance relationship, Skype was independent, so I was much more happy that my conversations weren't being over.
Well, I wouldn't really care if naked pictures get sent to the NSA. What are they going to do with them?
Korea's at war. Cyber war, anyways. North Korean hackers allegedly took out some major banks and government websites. And it's going the other way. South Koreans are now trying to hack North Korean services, though it's not clear if that's the government or if it's anonymous hackers. I think it's anonymous hackers. But I have a proposition. I mean, there's a Star Trek episode wherein two planets have been fighting for generations, but instead of actually having war, it's just all computer simulations. And the twist there was that they'd actually kill the people who were simulated to die. That's stupid. If we can just replace war outright with hacking, with tearing down virtual posters like bank websites, cool, let's just do that. I mean, why kill each other? We can just be elite hacksaws and take stuff down. I think this is a good step in the right direction, James.
Well, it'll all be online virtual soon anyway. Once we've completely dronerized the whole warfare thing, we'll have robots fighting it, and then you can hack into them, and then you'll have them
but at a
each
certain
other.
Point, why have the robots? We should just have them be simulated robots, and if we can both agree to rules, there you go.
Because
and then eventually war will just be
has
Half-Life.
An innate bloodlust. Who are we kidding?
Does it though? I mean, you're living on a continent that was bloody for thousands of years, and now the biggest controversy revolves around currency. I mean, no one seriously thinks Europe's going to be at war again. War is something we can avoid, and this is obviously me being crazy, but I'm not that down on cyber war because it sure beats regular war.
It's true.
I don't know. Like, if this is the worst they're going to do, that's terrible. Spambot64 is claiming he is in a long-distance relationship, or she. Bots can be female too, guys, with the NSA. So that's good for them. Yeah.
I always knew that Spambot64 was trouble.
Spambot64, I love you. You're my favorite. I think it is canon, but who
Spambot,
knows?
just so you know, the NSA has been cheating on you with lots of other people.
Lots.
like millions of them.
That was an interesting question I saw. Is the NSA collecting information from Snapchat? And if so, does that mean they have the largest child pornography collection on the planet? Probably.
I'm sure there's grown-ups who use Snapchat to send naked photos as well.
Oh, yeah. There's probably some regular pornography in there as well.
No, they just do it, dude.
I don't think...
They have long-distance relationships, too.
Recently, too, and it was valued at way too much money. I think kids are going to stop using it pretty soon. Because I'm hip with what the kids like. Bieber, yo.
Yeah, whenever you Google your name, you learn about the latest trends in Bieber.
In Justin Bieber smoking pot. Yeah, that's all I know about him is that he smokes pot because I just Google myself. So
I don't think he actually smokes pot. I think people want to know if he smokes pot.
Yeah. Spambot is now selling blue pandas. What? Awesome.
Virtual blood available here.
I have seen Pandora in cars as an example of gratuitous product placement. I didn't know it was actually a thing that existed, but apparently Pandora has been installed in 2.5 million cars, to which I say, what? Why do people want that?
Because the radio is crap.
I guess radio kind of is crap.
How do they do that? Don't they need an internet connection?
That's my question too. I have no idea how that works.
I know on my car there's an option to actually get a tethering thing installed in the car, so it uses
why
cellular.
Don't you just use the Pandora app on the phone? I don't understand what this is. I was hoping one of you guys.
That's
what happened to just putting MP3s on an iPod? For God's
That is so
sake.
much work, James. You're crazy and old.
Plus, it's the same. I mean, well. For James's point, I mean, it's the same thing as listening to the radio. Sometimes you just don't want to pick what you listen to. You just want to let the radio choose for you.
No, I don't.
Some people do.
They're indecisive.
A world conflict should be solved Street Fighter style. P in the chat room is saying, how do I see the full names? Oh, Pierre, sorry. Just have the leaders that have the beef fight it out. Well, then Vladimir Putin would run the world. I don't know if I'm okay with that. I don't know if I like that. I mean, do you really think Obama could take out Putin? I don't.
Luke thinks Pandora is crap.
I kind of like it sometimes. It's great when you want to get work done if you have some good channels with just the right kind of mellow music.
I just use Spotify, so anyway. Let's get to the story about Pandora.
Yes, okay. So artist David Clowery, his song was played on Pandora 1 million times, and he got $16.89 in exchange for this massive amount of plays. We're regularly told that streaming services are the future of the music industry, but it seems to me, based on this, kind of exploitation, wouldn't you say, James?
Sorry, I'm trying to look for this guy to listen to some of his work, and I can't find anything. So, yeah, there's a reason he's not making any money.
What? He's been listened to, what, 1 million times?
Yeah, but he's been listened to on a streaming service,
music.
The purpose of which is to promote you.
Wait. If your song was played 1 million times on the radio, you'd make a little more than $16.89, and the purpose of that is to promote you. I don't think I buy that. The Pandora is using your intellectual property, and they advertise the fact that they pay songwriters and musicians for it. You're telling me now it's just a promotion service?
I thought it was pretty obvious
Spotify.
that all musicians make their money through goods and concerts and other sales. Like, it doesn't even come up with an iTunes page. You can't buy the music anywhere. It doesn't.
Well, no, you're just searching his name. He's played with different bands.
Oh, you got the name wrong. I'm sorry. That's why. The show notes are wrong.
I just googled his name. It came up, right?
Yeah, there was.
I just googled his name. It came up. It's not the name of his band. He's been with a variety of different groups.
No, the show notes had a C in front of the L, so it was David Clowery, not David Lowery. I'm going to listen to some of his music now and tell you why he's not making money.
Okay. What do you mean? That's not the point. The point is 1 million people heard this song, and he made $16, which is what he makes selling a T-shirt. Why should he keep his songs up on the service? What's the point?
Because maybe those people will buy his music on iTunes later. I don't know.
Okay, so it's just there to promote shit.
Sure.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's Pandora. If it were Spotify is replacing music purchasing. People get a subscription, and that's what they do instead of buying albums. But it's a similar pittance for the artists. They don't get much anymore. And maybe, I mean, we were told well, this is going to replace piracy, and now there's a model consumers agree with. It's fair, and the artists will be well compensated. Well, the last part is turning out not to be true. That's my only point. I mean, why not just put your shit on BitTorrent and let people download it if you're going to get $16.89 if 1 million people listen to it? I mean, what's the point of having it on a service that makes money off of your music? That makes money being installed in cars.
How much money is Pandora making off of this dude's 1 million plays? Probably not much more than $16.89.
Confirming
the music sucks.
You read everything.
No, really, this sucks. I've listened to it.
I asked you for
sucks.
one band you like, and all you came up with was Meatloaf. So
Meatloaf! Yes, now we're talking.
Everybody likes Meatloaf.
No, really though.
Justin.
This is not. There's a reason.
I'm guessing it's like I bet you it's like smooth indie like crap, right?
No. Well, I can tell you this: if I can put up ads on a website with content made by someone else and get 1 million hits and only pay them $60.89, I'm gonna be pretty freaking happy about that. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Like imagine if we had a blog post that got 1 million hits and we paid the author $15. I mean, I think there's something a little unfair about that.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're approaching Pandora as a way to make money from only that alone by playing music, then you're doing it wrong.
No,
you're doing
that's not the point. That's not the point.
It is the point. You're doing it
but
wrong.
You should. He's got other revenue sources. He sells a lot of T-shirts and albums, apparently. But he's saying, like, that's one T-shirt sale is the revenue from 1 million plays. I think that's a little ridiculous. I think that's... Yeah.
Is anything different for other artists? It's not like he's getting a especially lower rate or something.
And that's the freaking point. Why are these artists allowing their music to go on this service if they're not going to get compensated for it fairly?
Because they're looking at it the right way rather than as a revenue source.
Okay, you're right. No one should make money for anything. Moving right along.
No, that's not true at all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you treat Pandora not as a revenue source. You treat it as an advertisement. Not everything is done purely to make money on that. I mean, Google doesn't charge you for searching, does it?
Millions. is my point. And maybe
But
it should
not
be a
on
little
this one dude's song. They're paying
They
money
make
to
it
all
on
the other
lots
people.
of songs. I mean, Pandora's not the best example. Spotify actually offers full albums.
Yeah, Spotify is more where people get screwed because that, like, even if
that's
this
a
guy's song
replacement
got played
for
a
buying the
million
album.
times, the people aren't looking for his song. On Spotify, people are looking for your song, so you should be more well compensated.
It's just a point that everything is not rosy and sunny right now in the world of online streaming. And yes, Pandora is mostly a promotional tool, but if you want a promotional tool, why not just put it on BitTorrent? And then there's not a third party making money off your music, and people can find it just the same.
You don't feel like perhaps he's a bit negative because he just found out people don't actually like him that much? Because, I mean, we hear from other artists,
You just
right?
reach into people's shit, okay?
Look, we hear from other artists who do well off of these. Not necessarily directly from that, but they say, well, look, now we're doing better than ever with our concerts, with what have you.
Okay. There's definitely a lot of points that can be made here, but I think he's got a point here. That a million times $16.89, I don't think that's equitable. I think Pandora can do better. I think we as a culture are valuing creation less than before. Is that okay? I don't know. I mean, to be fair, there's more stuff that's been created than ever before, right?
Well,
I mean, there's
the
more
thing,
music
really, yeah.
out there than ever before, so there's a lot of competition. But if sites like Pandora, if sites like Spotify are going to claim to be like friends of the artists, I mean, getting the record labels out of the deal, the unfair record labels who just take money, are going to pay back artists like this? I'm going to go back to the record labels. I'd rather have lawsuits with the RIA than be paid a million times and only get $17. I mean,
Pierre says
makes
that.
a good point. Yeah, Spotify pays directly to the record companies, who, assuming they had a deal with this guy, would probably only pay him $16 anyway, because they've already the way they set up these contracts, it's like you have to make $1 million or something before they even start to pay you royalties.
Yeah.
So it's not like there's anything different.
There's lots to do here. I think the best strategy is to just sell music from your website directly.
That only works if you're small.
Pandora as a promotional tool. But I think we as a culture, is my core point here, are valuing the act of creation less than ever before, probably because more people are doing it than ever before.
It's so easy to create.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a podcast.
Exactly.
I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah.
It's not a very good one, but you do.
Microsoft has a search engine. What? Microsoft is pushing Bing in schools. They're offering an ad-free version for students, I think grade school and high school. Kind of a search version of Apple's campaign in the 80s to get Macs into schools as much as possible, which I think paid off long-term for Apple quite handsomely. It, at the very least, gave a lot of people a positive feeling, positive nostalgia about Apple that I think, once the iPod came along, really paid off for them. Do you think this is a good move on Microsoft's part, or is everyone just going to use Bing anyways?
Are you directing that at anyone?
Okay, sorry, Dave.
I mean, it can't hurt, I guess. More people using Bing in schools or wherever is still people using Bing. So, but
they're
I
not
really
making any money off it. But
I can't see anything that Microsoft could do that is all of a sudden that is going to put them ahead of Google. They may carve out their own little niche of people who use it, but Google's just so dominant. I don't see. I feel like you're just fighting an uphill battle.
Google makes so much money off search that they can design self-driving cars just for fun with no revenue model.
And goggles that make you see the world through, whatever nonsense.
But Microsoft did
use iPads. It doesn't really make a difference there, surely.
Part of the article did mention they were going to make Bing the default search engine in a lot of these iPads.
Oh, right.
You can do that.
Can they do that? Is that allowed? Oh, okay.
I don't know if you've ever used... So Apple does provide tools for centrally managing a bunch of iPads, and you can do stuff like set the default search engine.
And Bing is now the default for Siri in iOS 7.
Yeah, that was weird. I don't understand that. Why is it the system default for Safari?
Not the default for Safari.
Joining us,
listeners, the
user
chooses.
In the chat room, we encourage everyone to use Bing in place of curse words. It just keeps this place Bing and clean, and we Bing and love it. So, go right ahead. Have fun with it.
I wonder if it's some kind of technical thing,
knows what I'm talking about.
like Bing offers an API to Apple and Google doesn't or something.
I think
I'm sure Bing said, "Here's a lot of money, Apple. Make us the default in Siri."
But then
I
why
think
wouldn't
that's
they have
probably how that went
gone
down.
for the jugular and gone for...
Apple is also trying to hedge Google's influence in the face of Android, which
That's
they
the other
feel
thing,
was a
too.
breach of
Google
trust.
is a competitor to Apple now. They didn't used to be.
I mean, Steve Jobs used to be the mentor to Sergey, and I'm blanking out on the other dude's name. I'm sorry. They used to have a very, very good relationship. They had members on each other's boards. That ended when Google really started pushing Android. They got pissed. Apple basically felt Android was a rip-off of iOS, and it was going to undercut their profits. And it's more or less turned out to be accurate on that.
Well, not necessarily the rip-off part, but
I don't know about the rip-off part.
Undercutting the profits.
Yeah. But they made the same argument about Windows 95. So, I mean, this is something Apple's been saying for a long time. We innovate, and then you just copy it. But it's not like Mac OS was completely unique. There were borrowed concepts there to be true. And that's the act of creation. You borrow stuff.
Borrow, steal, call it what you want.
Hey, are you on Facebook? Because your data might have been completely leaked. A bug exposed the data of 6 million accounts.
Why am I laughing? This isn't funny.
What?
This isn't funny. I don't want to laugh about it. It's not funny. It's really not funny.
It's for a lighthearted story, yeah. So Facebook is a company that we trust with a lot of our personal information. Most of us are too either lazy or ignorant to know that you can lock it down. But apparently it doesn't matter because a bug exposed 6 million accounts' data. So there you go. The unintended information, according to MakeUseOf.com, was exposed through Facebook's Download Your Information tool. Phone numbers and email addresses, which are some of the variables used for making friend recommendations, were accidentally included in the download made by Facebook members. So there you go.
Thankfully, my Facebook is public, so...
It's almost like putting private information onto the servers of a for-profit corporation might backfire from time to time. Interesting. Facebook... in the heels of this announcement, has announced their new Social Security number storage system where you can just put your Social Security number conveniently on Facebook so you can reference it later for when you're filling out tax forms. I know I'm signing up. Are you?
You got to add the TM at the end of that. That's a trademark.
Trademark.
Facebook Social Security Storage System, TM.
Well, you know what? I'm done with Facebook. When I have funny links to share with friends, I'm just going to put them on email. That's an acceptable thing to do, right, Dave?
Oh, yeah, people love getting funny links sent to them in email. It's the coolest thing to do.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Too bad.
You can't do it because there's a patent.
There's a patent.
Nice.
On including a link in an email. I wish I could travel back to 1990 and just patent random crap, because the crazy part is these patents keep standing. Recently, if you keep up with patent news, you'll know that someone who claims to have patented podcasting in the 90s. He had a system where he'd send out cassettes reading newspapers to people, and he wanted to do it on the internet, but the internet wasn't fast enough at the time. So he's suing not like Apple for offering podcasts. He's suing podcasters.
Bring it.
By the way, yeah, some major podcasters have gotten notes. I want to know why not us.
Where's ours? You know,
we're not cool enough to sue.
Yeah,
Asshole.
dog, sue us, yo. Yeah. I'm waiting.
So there's that. But yeah, there's a patent on sending an email. There's lawsuits underway
with a link in it. Doesn't the patent on a link kind of precede the patent on sending a link in an email?
Well, this is the most. Yeah, this is the most annoying. Some of these patents, it's just, hey, links exist, email exists. I hereby patent putting an email with a link. That's my thing. I combine these two things in a way no one would have ever thought of.
And they say that Motorola product which has multimedia messaging violates this patent. Oh, right, just that then. They're not going for every email ever sent in the world. That's good to know.
Now, does anybody have the patent on
just suing Google, that's all.
On sending photos? Probably someone.
Because if not, we should jump on that. We're missing a golden opportunity.
No, it's too late now. There's prior art.
Who has a patent on sending naked photos?
Snapchat.
Snapchat, yeah.
Figures.
That one.
Yeah.
They nabbed that up like 40 years ago. They've been waiting to use it.
Oh, silly nonsense.
If anyone else knows of some particularly ridiculous patents, let us know in the comments or at all the usual places. James, this one's for you. Ghostery, I know, is one of your very favorite sites. You've written so many glowing reviews of it here at makeuseof.com. You love it.
Love it.
But the one problem has been they haven't had a good revenue model. Something about blocking tracking makes that hard. But they're now going to help advertisers who support them. James, I cannot wait to hear your enthusiasm on this particular issue.
Well, I think we should define what they're actually selling. So, obviously, they can't sell. They don't sell user data. What they sell to companies is data on who's blocking them, or I guess what percentage of. I guess it's like a percentage of how many of our users choose to block your ads because they hate you, and then the advertisers can somehow adjust their ads based on that, or something like that. Either way, it's pretty dirty.
I like to throw tracking off every morning. I wake up, I open up Bing, I Bing the word Google, and then click through the Google homepage, and that's where I start my day.
They are so confused. They just don't know how to understand that. They're like,
I'm
what?
an enigma. I'm a mystery. No one can figure me out. Advertisers, yeah.
What?
Oh yeah, Ghostery is another one of those companies like AdBlock who likes to make money off destroying other people's revenue.
Yeah.
Really.
I mean, they're disrupting the industry, to use the startup parlance.
I like to disrupt things.
I'm a
podcasts,
disruptor.
for example. I love to disrupt them with my nonsense.
A new version of AdBlock's out. If you're interested, James, I'm going to update.
Really?
AdBlock, of course, is starting to let some ads through, basically, if the company pays them. Which is, I mean, that's basically it. So, yeah, this is getting.
Didn't see that one coming.
Mm-hmm. Moving right along, then. What do we got here, James? What's going on?
Yeah, so it's a funny little story. A Japanese survey. Basically, there's a new free instant messaging app which has taken hold in Japan and all over Asia called Line, and it's popular because it's like a BlackBerry Messenger or whatever. You can send free messages. So this app actually has what's called read receipts. So when you send a message, a little thing will come up underneath it to say, "Oh, so and so has read this message."
It's kind of like on Google Hangouts now. You can see who's read what.
Yeah,
iMessage has that too, right? Messages on iOS has that now. If they enable it.
Yeah, you have to.
Okay. So it's got this is like a message that's sent to you saying that it's been read.
Yeah, I mean, once you've sent it, just a little thing will come up saying underneath, saying whether the person has read it or not. And this turns out to be both positive and negative in the sense that people are far more compelled to respond, and therefore they're using the apps more than anyone else, more than any other messaging apps, because, it's like, he knows I've read that now and I have to reply, so the stats show people use this app for like an hour or more a day. But it's a bit like the old no, you say goodbye, no, you say goodbye thing, like on the phone to your girlfriend or whatever. But on the downside, about half of the users are reporting actual fatigue. Like they're getting sick because they're using this app so much. They can't put it down, and it's not addictive so much as it's guilting them into responding. So I think this is like a great example where we really need to draw this balance between usefulness and, yes, it's great to know that your message was actually read, but are we prepared to accept the consequences of that? You'll have to start responding. Which I thought was kind of weird.
So, Canon is pretending that he's not Spambot64. I do not believe him. Someone finally made a 69 joke in the comments, so that's progress. And I'm being asked by... Vippool311 if I'm sure I don't smoke pot every morning. You know what's funny is no one asked me that question constantly in high school. That just didn't come up. Yeah. And now that I live in Boulder, it's by no means accelerated. So, that's weird. Anything else on this story?
Nope.
Is Cano Yams canon?
Yes.
Then how can he be Spambot69?
He's got two tabs open, genius.
Oh my god, this technology is freaking insane, dude.
Let's move on to what we've been up to. Dave, you put an article at makeuseof.com about what to expect at a classic gaming convention. We briefly discussed this last week, but what are the highlights?
Pretty much everything I discussed last week. I didn't really want to go in depth with it. I just wanted, I just put it down here because I mentioned that I wrote an article, but it wasn't published last week. So I just wanted to let everybody know that the article is published. There's photos of me with the angry video game nerd in it. Photos of me shopping for games. Photos of me playing Tempest.
Wearing that exact same Flyers hat.
I wear this hat every day, brother.
Is it the same T-shirt too? Oh my God, it is, isn't it?
No.
Do you just have one T-shirt?
This is the shirt I'm wearing today. It's a skiing T-shirt. That's a Borderlands T-shirt.
Oh.
Cool. So you can check that out. We've got it at the description at makeuseof.com. I got so used to saying Technophilia podcast.
There's also a picture of NES cartridges made into clocks, which I think is just cool.
Oh, badass. Badass. The company I used to work for, there was a lady who would come by and grab recycled stuff before it went to the recycling place, and she'd make clocks out of like CDs or hard drive plates. They looked awesome, but this is pretty cool too.
And the person who makes them wants everyone to know, they say it on their website, that rare games that are made into clocks are not actually the rare games inside. They use cheap games and just reproduce the sticker. So, like, if you get an NES World Championship clock, they're not turning an NES World Championships into a clock. Just so you know, they're not turning $10,000 games into $20
Question,
clocks.
what is a Turbo Duo?
It's a TurboGrafx 16 and a TurboGrafx CD in one system.
Wow.
Kenan is trying to say that he is not Spambot64 by checking the IP. Oh, great, you've got a proxy. Nice.
I think in your country, though, James, I think it was called a PC Engine.
That sounds familiar. Okay.
Brisket is asking if he should comment here and not on the YouTube live stream page thing. The problem with the YouTube live stream page thing is we don't see the comments in real time. This shows it to us in real time, so that's why we use it. It's so that I can look over at this monitor and see what you're saying.
Also,
with YouTube, I have to hit refresh.
Also, we're not looking at the YouTube live screen, so you're talking to air over there, brother.
So sorry about that. If you want to talk to me directly, my Twitter handle's down. Oh wait, it's gone now. Whatever.
No, it's not. Haha, that's just your Wi-Fi symbol on your shirt.
I'm terrible at this. So you can read about Dave's adventures at the gaming convention there, or you can hear all about it by downloading Technophilia 68. Which you can find at technophiliapodcast.com. We're setting up a new Make Use of domain for the show. More news on that as it develops. Let's move on to Make Use of giveaways. Our good friend Yara recently published a review on a portable Bluetooth speaker called the Logitech UE Mobile Boombox. If you want to win that, in the description, go to the site, sign up. You can win that. I am working on a review for a Bluehost. You will be able to win 1 year of Bluehost hosting and a domain name. And if you've got a domain name already, it will, if you migrate it, you get the year free anyway. So working on that review. I think that'll be up Friday, so you can wait for that too and check it out. So if you're thinking of setting up a website or you need a new place to put your website, stay tuned. And do check out the UE Mobile Boombox. There's also a lot of T-shirts you can get here on Make Use of Giveaways right now, which is pretty exciting. Ours are in the mail. We don't have them this week. Maybe
my most recent giveaway is far more popular than anything you guys have just written about.
Oh, okay. What is your most recent giveaway?
Mine is the Logitech Harmony Ultimate. It's a remote control with an LCD screen on it, and it controls everything. I hooked it up to my my flashy LED lights as well. So now when I watch TV, they're like pink. And I switch on the Xbox, and it turns on the Xbox for you too, because it's got Bluetooth.
Wait,
and then
why do you want
go green?
Why do you want pink when you're watching TV? Are you just watching Korean soap operas and it helps with the ambience? Like, why pink? I don't understand.
He's watching romantic comedies, and he's got to set the mood.
That's all I watch on TV. And then on the Xbox they go green. It's really cool. It's very cool. Go and get it. Go and enter.
V pull, not we pool. So thanks. I'm mispronouncing names is my thing. Ask Dave Perrick. But yeah.
This is not an ad.
Also,
sorry about that, V-pull. What else do we got in terms of giveaways?
The review of the WikiPad is going to go up. It was supposed to go up today, but it turns out I'm a shitty photographer and I had to retake some pictures. So
okay.
It's gonna go up. It's gonna go up tomorrow. So
we're lucky. We get to try free stuff. We test them, and then you can maybe win them at makeuseof.com.
Yes.
Anyway,
Shall I give you a sneak preview of what I'm reviewing now? Check this out.
But the t-shirts you can get just with points right now. No winning required. You can just get them.
What is that?
What is that?
This is a Lego, what's it called? NXT Mindstorm. So it's like it's Lego, so you can build loads of cool stuff. Like this is built just from Lego, and then you program it, and it can do, anything basically. It's like a little Arduino robot or something, but one that you can actually change, and it's very easy to build. So like one of the projects is a what's it called? A Rubik's Cube solver. So you build this robot, you put a Rubik's Cube in the middle, you press go, and it solves it. Isn't that amazing?
Well, I do not have the intellectual capacity to solve a Rubik's Cube on my own. Do you think I have the intellectual capacity to design a robot that can do it for me? And if so,
well, you don't need
about humanity. Go.
It's very cool, though. I can't wait to... I think it's going to be published next month, so sorry. Shouldn't talk about that yet.
Let's move on
I'll talk
to
about the WikiPad next week because I'll wait till the review's up to back up my claims.
Everything we talk about in the giveaways, you can sign up to potentially win a year of it, or in case of the t-shirts and a bunch of software, if you just click the button up towards the top, you can get a lot of free stuff right now, sometimes including like flash drives and stuff. So, anyways, plug over. Let's move on to the social news, the part of the show where we read stuff sent to us by you. We're going to start with Dave Perekistan?
I think it's par wreck, like car wreck, but with a
Dave Par wreck. Dave, the only way we're gonna stop mispronouncing your name is if you come on the show.
I actually don't know. I still don't know the correct pronunciation, so I'm gonna.
No, I really don't. He said it was like Barack Obama, so I started saying Dave Parak. But I guess he pronounces Barack Obama differently, so whatever. A London pub is now. It's a place you can hang out and get a drink and watch competitive video gaming instead of football. It sounds like your scene, James. Are you going to go check it out?
No, I can't stand pubs. You have to pay for the drinks. I prefer to brew my own.
Drinks everywhere.
No, I brew my own. I don't go to pubs now because.
Oh, that's right. You still have to pay for the ingredients to brew it. Oh, yeah. Got him. What?
I've got a theory that every new game seems like something you don't want to go out and watch at first, and then it becomes a sport at some point, and then people will go watch people play it competitively. Video gaming might be in that area, but I don't know. I don't know if watching video games.
I watch Dota all the time. So
honestly, if these are the kind of people that will watch StarCraft and Dota being streamed, I don't think I want to go.
That's the other thing too. Who wants to go sit in a room filled with nerds watching Dota? Like, I have no problem watching Dota in my living room.
Who wants to go sit in a room filled with jocks watching football?
Not me.
I don't want to do that either. I refuse to go watch sports at a bar.
Cool. Notably, the second Dave told us about this on Twitter, some other pub in London tweeted us saying to check that out. I'd mentioned them, but I'm lazy, so I'm not going to.
A pub tweeted us?
A pub tweeted us right away. Like, oh, if you think that's cool. I think he's just got a constant Twitter search going for this article, and every time someone mentions it, it's like, no, come here instead.
I will be going to a pub next week in Croydon for a board games meetup thing, which could be cool.
Oh, it's pronounced Dave Carrec. Okay, there we go. Dave Carrec. Got it.
Oh, so the P is silent, and you replace it with a C. That makes sense.
Thanks for clearing that up, Spambot64, who I now think might actually be Dave. Fernando on Twitter, at Pierre Le Topo, said, you might have seen this already, Google Mine. What the heck is Google Mine? I don't understand what's going on here. By the way, as we're trying to figure out what's going on, you can add other stuff in the comments. Did anyone actually look at the social stuff here?
No, you put it up. I thought you were going to look at it.
I'm trying to remember what this was. It's a new service can allow users to keep track of belongings and then share those with friends. Like mine, like the way a 5-year-old says mine constantly. So you can.
So this is what they're replacing Google Reader with.
I don't believe it.
A service where if you lend stuff to friends, there's like an online record that this is my thing. It would have really helped Ned Flanders keep his TV tray. So there you go.
Sorry, guys. Google Reader, that's not useful. But what's useful is a service that tracks the shit you lend to your friends. That's what we need on the internet.
But by no means.
Realize how easy it is to fake these kind of screenshots by just editing the HTML code, right?
Shut up.
You don't actually believe this.
Don't ruin my fun. I'm trying to make jokes and whatnot, and you're just shooting it all down, and now the jokes don't make any sense. Screw you, James. Screw you. I hate you and your Sheldon Cooper shirt. Look at you.
Piero also told us that Warner Brothers is starting to use BitTorrent downloads as a metric to determine what it is movie viewers want to see. So it's an illegal activity, but it is market research. It does show us what's popular. It is something we can measure. So, I don't know, it doesn't, oh, dude, I'm stealing your stuff, but it's okay because you're getting solid metrics out of it. I don't think that justifies anything, but it is interesting that they're tracking that.
I mean, but they're people who are not willing to pay, so what difference does it make?
Mm-hmm. People really want Google Waffles. I think that this could be a game changer for them. Could you imagine a service where if you give up one piece of private information, they send you a waffle in the mail? I think that could really change everything. What kind of private information would you give up for a waffle?
I like waffles.
So, like your social security number, your mother's maiden name, like what would you give to Google so that they can help track you better if they were to send you a free waffle in the morning?
Pretty much whatever they want, because waffles are really good.
There you have it. Yeah, Google Waffles. This is going to be fantastic. What else we got here? More on DuckDuckGo, again from Piero. I looked at all of this.
50% increase in 8 days. Didn't we talk about this last week?
Not an increase.
We did.
We talked something about DuckDucks.
Pretty sure we did.
People like the ducks, huh?
It's an editorial that's saying that this doesn't really mean anything.
Oh.
It's not grown anything near. I mean, it's grown a little bit, but it hasn't grown to the extent that you would think that people actually care about privacy. Most people don't care about privacy. And, you know, that's easy enough to prove. Just do a Facebook graph search for I'm not racist, but, and you'll see all kinds of people saying terrible things. I mean, people don't care about privacy. They're very comfortable in sharing shit that they should keep in their own head. So that makes sense. Kashi did provide us with the information on Facebook, facebook.com/Technophilia podcast, where you can submit stories that we will talk about here on the show. You can also put them at twitter.com/TheTechnophilia. Xbox One will require a day one software update. We went over that. Thanks, Kashi. If you don't know Kashi, he is among the cast of characters. He's a super fan. He's around here every week.
He might as well be. He's like the fourth host.
He's the fourth host of the show, yeah.
Him and Dave, a wreck.
Yeah, but Dave has left us. Dave is not here today. And the Samsung from Dave P on Facebook is saying that Samsung is closing their desktop sales business. They just sell laptops from now. Are laptops just the future? I mean, who here is, of the three of us, quick poll, who's on a desktop computer right now? I'm on a laptop. You're on both. You're on both at once. You're on a desktop?
Yep.
So there is still an audience for desktops. I use one.
Wait, James, are you on a real desktop or a Mac desktop, though?
I'm on an iMac. And
that's not a real desktop. That's a laptop with. That's bigger.
I don't own a laptop or a mini laptop or
that's a laptop without a battery or a built-in keyboard. It's like
basically, it's that's not a desktop. Is you know this big monstrosity sitting next to me.
No.
Every once in a while, I will see someone. Maybe it's just because I'm in a weird place. But someone take like an iMac into a coffee shop and set up in the corner.
Basically, don't like
really.
laptops.
Yeah, I've seen it.
That's because it's
just one. It's just one plug. If you can get on Wi-Fi,
but that's still.
It is just a laptop. Yeah.
Koshi also wants to know if we played any Game Dev Tycoon.
I have never
love that
played
thing that they did.
Game Dev Tycoon. What did they do, Dave?
They did the thing where they put the pirate version of the game up, but in the pirate version of the game, I think we talked about this before. You
yes. In the pirate,
because your game got pirated so much in the pirate version of the game, so you just lost no matter what.
The point of the game is that you design a game and you try to sell it, basically.
Yeah.
I played one of the originals, not this one, but it was so boring.
Did you play Game Dev Story? That was the one that came first.
Yeah, that was the first one I played. It was so boring, really.
I thought it was fun.
It's just, no, it was just like a text game where you're clicking. It was like Mafia Wars, which isn't fun either.
No, yeah, but it's more active than Mafia Wars. hours.
I mean, you would like it because you're the kind of person who plays Facebook games, which is about the level that Game Dev Tycoon is.
I don't play Facebook games. I hate Facebook.
We know for a fact that's a lie, Dave. And anyone who checks your Facebook status would know that's a lie.
Yeah, but that's an iPhone game that happens to share shit on Facebook. I don't play it on Facebook.
Really?
What a loophole! What a loophole!
You can't play the game without that stuff. You have no choice.
It's a desktop game that you happen to need. It's a browser game that you could literally say anything about.
Well, no, but you don't actually go to Facebook to play it.
That's such an outright lie. Unbelievable.
You can play it on Facebook, though, if you want.
This is one heck of a first episode. We've covered a lot of ground. I'd say we wrap this up with what you've been using, unless there are different comments in the show. Hang out after the show's done. I will design the art live with your listener feedback. What you've been using, part of the show where we talk about what we've been using lately. I found a new Reddit client for Android, and I thought I'd tell you about that, because Reddit clients for Android are just so interesting. It's called RedReader. Unlike existing services, it's completely open source. It's constantly updated, and it works really well. The only annoyance is you have to refresh posts manually, but once you have it running, it's the fastest experience on Android I've found. So do check that out. Link
is Alien Blue on Android? Or is that
no. Before now, I've been using something called Reddit is Fun, which is kind of similar.
Reddit is not fun. That's a lie.
No, that was the name of the client. I am not making an editorial statement.
Client is lying.
I also found a little piece of software. So if you're a Mac user who regularly coordinates with PC users, you might hear, "What is this crap? My Mac left on my drive. This is stupid. I hate you. Let's not be friends anymore." I mean, we've all had that situation come up. Clean My Drive sits in the tray and it deletes that crap, and the trash bin, which is the key bit, when you unmount the disk. So not a huge deal, but kind of cool and useful if you're ever in that situation. Are you talking about that stupid Candy Crush saga? Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Yep.
No,
I freaking hate that game, man. It's such a scam, but I can't.
Why have you played it?
Keep playing then.
I don't know. I can't help it.
Literally what drug addicts say. Like,
I hate Dota too, but I keep playing that. So
not only do you keep playing it, you keep broadcasting it to the world.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't hate Dota. I love Dota.
Okay. Just one more. Talking about our own articles here. We're going to have guests on the show. They'll talk a bit about their work, too. Let us know what you think about the new format of the show. We haven't changed it much, but we'd love to hear from you. Dave, you put up a list of games that are so bad they're good. I was most interested in 50 Cent. I didn't realize he put out a game.
He put out more than one game, but
are you kidding?
But the Blood on the Sand is the one that is particularly freaking absurd.
What do you do? What do you do in a 50 Cent game?
It's a third-person shooter, right?
Oh, of course, because you have to see 50. There's no point.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So 50 Cent and G-Unit, his gang of other rappers, they're sent to go recover this crystal skull, but it gets
in the
stolen.
Mushroom Kingdom.
So the whole game you're trying to recover my skull. So it's just like 50 walking around like, "Yo, bitch, where's my skull at?" And
really?
And you're just shooting helicopters. There's like helicopters are like the main enemy. There's like 1 million enemies. It's actually not that bad of a game in terms of just like a pure gameplay experience. It's just a retarded premise. Like you're 50 Cent trying to recover a crystal skull that's worth millions of dollars. And his boys are like just like, "Yo, 50, let's get that fucking skull, man." And it's just like absolutely retarded. So
episode idea for the next show, Dave goes to gamer rehab.
Yo, 50.
We just have you give up video games for a week and see if it's you who's waxing poetic about global politics. And then I'll just play Candy Crush Saga for a week straight, and we'll see if we take on opposing personas. So we'll see if we can switch this around.
I believe it's pronounced Saga, not Saga.
Saga. I don't know.
Saga Genesis.
Candy Crush Saga. Sorry. Mispronouncing stuff is my name.
No, your name is Justin.
Oh, that's true. My name is Justin.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Remember the whole
My name is Justin Pott.
thing?
I'm in Boulder, Colorado. You're listening to Technophilia.
No, that was like an hour and a half ago.
Okay, sorry. Thanks, everyone, for listening. It's been a lot of fun, but I think we're going to wrap the show up. Like I was saying, do subscribe to MakeUseOf.com if you want to know when the live show is going to go up. You can follow MakeUseOf on Twitter or Facebook, or you can follow us directly and just get the good stuff at facebook.com/Technophilia podcast or on Twitter at the Technophilia. Follow us. I've cleaned up the Twitter page. It used to be a friggin' mess. I've unfollowed all the spam bots we were following for fun. I only follow Technophiliacs, which, if you didn't know, is my word for you, the Technophilia listeners. Tweet us information. We will share it with other people, and hopefully we can get a little discussion going here on a platform that is notably hard to use for discussion. I want to really, I mean, this show is fun because you guys participate in the chat room, on Facebook, contributing stories. Let's do this together. Let's build a show that we all really enjoy. Anything else to add, gentlemen?
Just a quick note. Our feed URL will be changing next week, but if you're using iTunes, it should automatically update for you.
Yeah.
And we'll be redirecting the MP3 one too, but if it does mess up and say like no podcast found or something, then you want to manually update that to the new feed address.
Okay, and we'll put up an audio episode if we need to with instructions, just quickly explaining what to do.
Yes, that's a good plan.
Cool. Sonic the Candy Hog would be one heck of a name, and I'm just going to end it there. Thanks for contributing. We're going to stay on the air here. Let me know what you think the name of the episode here is. I guess Sonic the Candy Hog is the first competitor, so let's do this. If you're listening audio-wise, join us live next time, and you can help design the art and name the episode. If you're wondering why the episode names make no sense, this is why. Anyways, goodbye, everyone.
I vote for Make Use of Does 69.
We went the whole episode without a 69 joke. You just had to go there. Who's going to bring the waffles
maybe
next
who's
week?
on top, that kind of thing.
Goodbye, everyone. That's
it. That's it.
Okay,
wait,
listeners.
I should not hit the end broadcast button.
No,
this week,
do
right?
not. Just when you're editing the audio episode, don't put this on.
Right.
How do you like my hand gestures today? I'm pretty good at that, eh? Yeah, you remember this T-shirt design? I pulled out my Only Make Use of shirt.
I don't remember that.
This.
I'm
only here for the free Wi-Fi.
On it.
The penguin one wasn't designed when I started.
I think I lost it, though.
Maybe I'll broadcast from the garden next week. That would be fun.
Yeah, I might be forced to move to the kitchen soon because it is like 90 degrees today.
How does that help going to the kitchen?
Maybe I'll
It's
broadcast
cooler.
naked.
This room is on the sunny side of the apartment. The kitchen's on the shady side in the morning. It's a huge difference.
MUO Overlord, which I assume is either Mark or Ibex, says, "What number am I thinking for the name?"
What number am I thinking?
Because it's 69. Ha ha ha.
We
Unless
don't know
he's
that it's
asking.
actually someone from Make Use of. It could just be.
That's true.
Yeah, it could be anyone.
Koshi
If you
says,
guys-
"Don't broadcast from the garden." Oh, it's a line
Why
from
not?
Bill and Ted. I don't know, because he's Koshi and he's weird.
What's wrong with the
She's
How about
not
from the
weird.
chicken
We like
shed? I could
Koshi.
do that.
Koshi, how come Philip never
get off.
joins in the conversation? Are you sure he's real?
First-time fans. Kakashi's like our super fan, and at some point his brother showed up for a bit, but his brother seems to have disappeared. Kashi, have you killed your brother?
His brother posted on Facebook like a week and a half ago, I think. It was something stupid, as always, you know. It was I'm serious. It was really stupid. Like
The podcast where we insult our listeners. Okay, so current ideas is Sonic the Candy Hog. That's a strong lead contender. Execution is lacking. That's a good name for the episode. What number am I thinking? I don't know. I think we can do better. It's a
That
69
sounds like a
joke
magic trick.
without actually saying it. Well, if it's the Make Use of boss that's saying we should do this, I guess it's okay. Because I'm assuming, why would you lie about being our boss? You must actually be our boss if you've got that screen name, right? I really appreciate the people who use Twitter to sign in because I can verify who you are, and I really appreciate those who didn't because I have no idea, and that's fun in its own way. How long has that dog been there? Awesome.
I'm going to Facebook and looking up Philip's last post. Because I remember it being
come on, guys.
really
We can
dumb.
do better. I'm obviously going to have to go with a Chinese red panda as the graphic. I mean, I'm not negotiating on this.
Oh, here we go. It's if the bat signal only works if there are clouds, so what happens if there are no clouds?
What? How have we not commented on that?
Koshi commented and said artificial clouds, and then put up a link to the Wikipedia article about artificial clouds.
Get off. What the hell are you doing? Get off.
Kashi,
This is why I love Philip. He
Get
just
off.
says
Philip
dumb
also
shit for
asked
no
us
reason.
about, like the physics of Toy Story
Get
at
off.
one point, which was fantastic too.
Stupid dog, get off.
Red.
Get off.
Go into Stock Vault to type Red Panda, like I get a suggestion because I've done this before. There aren't any. I gotta find a good Red Panda picture.
You should make the photo of a honey badger, but then call it something to do with red pandas.
No. Red Panda doesn't give a...
Red panda doesn't give a shit, or what is the honey badger?
doesn't
Honey
give a
badger don't
bang.
care.
Red Panda doesn't care. What should we name this episode? I mean, if you can suggest better art, do it. Pandas and waffles. Red pandas rule. I'm telling you, cutest creature.
Ooh, I kind of like pandas and waffles, actually.
Pandas and waffles. Sounds like a good... I just need to find a good public domain red panda picture. Come on,
No,
Wikipedia.
who cares if it's
Step
public
up.
domain? Just steal it. Oh, wait, I mean...
We're a for-profit enterprise now.
That's right.
We can't play fast and loose. I've never played. I've always been pretty careful about using public domain stuff.
What if-
It's all this GNU.
I don't know.
What if what?
Public domain red pandas. You know, we have access to Shutterstock. Have you checked that?
There's a picture of a Pomeranian dog dressed up as a red panda. Use that one. Well, I need a link. How do I?
Just Google
guess I can
Pomeranian
Google that.
dog dressed up as red panda. Obviously, God,
Dude,
what is
I'm
this, your
doing
first
it.
day? What is this, your first day on the internet? Hit
How do I
freaking
find
Bing,
something
man.
on the internet?
Bing
It's
that
on
shit.
BuzzFeed. So BuzzFeed's already stolen it. That means I can steal it, right?
BuzzFeed steals everything, so...
Oh, dude, that's just terrible. There it is. I don't know. I'm kind of disturbed by it. I don't think I want to use that.
If anybody wants to watch me play a game of Dota, I just turned my stream on right now, so it's twitch.tv/Sidox if you feel like watching Dota.
If you want to watch him play video games, I'm thinking I should do a stream. I'm thinking Friday afternoons playing some kind of NES era video game. So if you've got a NES era video game you want to see me play and talk to me during,
How are
Do
you
it.
going to stream it? What are you going to run it on an emulator and then stream that?
yeah.
I recommend if you're gonna do it, you try the Open Broadcaster software. It's pretty easy to use and it's free.
Is it on Mac?
Fuck if I know. Nobody plays video games on a Mac.
I do.
Yeah, well, you're a noob, so.
I'm a total noob. Red pandas are the best. Yeah,
They're
so
really.
just
I
gotta
looked it up.
use-
They're really cute, but they're not the cutest animal I've ever
What's
seen.
the cutest then? What's cuter than a...
Well, that's the problem. Is I don't know what the hell is Jackson want. Go away.
What is Jackson saying now? Hurry the Bing up. Art. Well, we need to think. I need to find a good red panda. So if you can give me a link to a red panda picture. Podcast newbie question. What is Justin doing? I am going to design the cover art for the episode. That'll go out with the podcast when you download the audio version. So I need your input. I need you to give me a name of the episode. I'm looking for a Chinese red panda picture that's in the public domain. I know I've done this before. Google has changed its... I don't see the public domain option anymore here, so that sucks. Oh, here we go. Advanced search. Share or modify. There we go. There we go. Okay, so over here. All these are free for me to use. Look at these. Which ones you want, guys?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to look right now? I don't want to
They're
look.
on screen. There's red pandas.
They're really not that cute. They just look like little
They're
weasels.
the best. Screw you.
They look like little weasels, man.
No, the Technophilia on the globe is the default. I make one for every episode. If you go to technophiliapodcast.com, you will see it. There we go. There we go.
Excuse me.
There we go. Okay, now I've got some art here. Now I get out my fancy text tool. I don't know. Photoshop has this tool, and you can use it to add text. So that's what I'm doing here. It's super advanced. I'm going to make the color white. I'm going to grab the official font of Technophilia, which is Loma Web Pixel. for that Nintendo look. Yeah, so we do the live show every week, and we also do an audio version that you can download. And in my head, the audio version's the real version. I don't think the video counts.
I would just like to say that I'm currently laning against a Riki and a Bounty Hunter, so if anybody plays Dota, they know how freaking annoying that is.
What are you talking about?
Talking about Dota, man. A
What you
Riki
just
and a Bounty
said-
Hunter, two invisible heroes at one time is
Are
really
those-
annoying.
Oh man,
Words?
I feel your pain.
Thankfully,
Damn.
Riki won't really
Is
bother
he
me till
saying
he's level
words?
6. That Riki and Bounty Hunter are the names of two
Technophilia
heroes.
69. Pandas and Waffles is one heck of a name. I'm going with it.
Why is it so laggy, though? Oh my god, what's going on here? Justin, what did you do to
Oh,
my
what do you-
internets?
I didn't do anything to your internets, dude.
I'm harassing this Riki, though. You don't even
What
know.
about if we had an Xbox One turned upside down?
Wait, you want to change the art now? What is this,
Sorry.
freaking romper room?
What are you doing? Oh, how come when...
Xbox One 180 to 360 should be the title.
That's the worst title I've ever heard. That is absolutely awful.
One 180 360. How about that?
How about we stick with Waffles and Pandas?
How about I've got something on the screen right now?
Oh, so perfect. 69 180 360. That works.
No, you know what? We're like using a line I used 3 times in the show and wasn't that funny to begin with, and we're going to make it the title of the episode.
What, you used it 3 times and it shouldn't be the title? Oh, that makes sense.
I've used it enough already. It's
Fine,
done.
use damn Panda already. Whatever. Whatever.
James, nobody cares about your opinions because your opinions are stupid.
Oh look, Dave
There we
just
go.
got deleted.
What'd I get deleted from?
So, here's
the
something
show.
I've never seen before. If the letter F and the letter L are beside each other, I get this Loho character. What is that?
What the? That's probably the font you're using is like a freeware one or something.
Weird. I've never seen that before.
I don't know what to tell you, man. Maybe you should
Spell it
get
wrong.
a different font.
I guess so. That's weird before.
Maybe you should win $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you? Having over there?
I need to stop smoking all that weed every day.
Yeah, Justin Pot.
Sonic the Candy Hog versus Red Panda the Waffle Slinger. That is way too long. It's like a horrible sci-fi original movie, but better because waffles. Yeah, okay. Solid point. Solid point. Risk it.
Waffles do
Points
make
to you.
everything better, to be honest.
That's a red panda. It is so much better than a panda. Red pandas are superior in every way to Chinese pandas.
Doesn't even look like a panda.
Title. We've
That's
already
what I
done
hate
I
about
Hate
them.
Titles. I left for a week and the album art was like my album art from the previous week with the title scratched out and it said blah 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 something title. So we've done that joke already. I think there was also an episode named I Hate Thinking of Titles. So like we've been there, we've done that. Yeah.
Yeah, but we got
You
new
can leave
listeners
the
today.
logo
They don't
bit in
know
there.
the jokes we've already ran.
You've got to take out the Loho bit, right?
What?
The bit that says, yeah, you've got to stop it doing that, man.
The Lomo, yeah. I don't know what to do about this. I just have to pick another font, I guess.
Why don't you spell waffles with? Is there a hacker word for F's? A hacker letter, like a backwards F or something? I don't know.
No.
I don't understand this. I have this font legitimately, I thought.
There's no words for what you want, James. So shut up.
Fine.
I hate you.
Why
Everything
does
you
our
stand for.
official YouTube page only have 6 videos on it?
Make use of? Because nobody makes videos.
And more to the point, why does a 10-second video of a turtle fractal have 10,000 views?
Because people like turtles.
It's not even a turtle; it's a fractal.
I don't even know what that is.
I
don't know
didn't
what-
think you would.
So they have
What's
the
a-
make use of
what's a
video
fractal?
page. I mean, We're told if we make videos for our articles, we can add stuff, upload it to there, but no one really ever does because it would A, be work to add it, and then B, you're giving traffic to YouTube to make use of and not being compensated for it. So no one's just done it yet. And I think no one will.
I make lots of videos, I put them on my own page.
Exactly, and until there's some kind of bonus for putting it on the make use of page, I don't think writers are going to do that.
I'll do it.
The art does not usually take this long, Jackson. This has been pretty bad.
It's your fault now that we have so many conflicting opinions. When it was just Koshi and Dave, it was kind of easy.
Oh, it's because we have too many listeners. Stop using pots is it just says S. Spambot64, thank you. Wait, you're canon, aren't you? Anyways, the art is done. Here it is. You can subscribe on iTunes. Look up Technophilia. You'll find us there, and you can get the full episode, which includes our intro music, which was fantastically donated by Coco Splat, who also did the dubstep remix that you'll see in the announcement post.
Do we have to pay him now?
I don't know.
I'm not paying him.
I should. Coco Splat, should we pay you?
Probably should.
I don't think we can pay you. Let us know if we need to stop using it. O4B03. I'll try that one. Brisket. Thanks for.
Brisket, like the thing you eat. So are any of our listeners actually watching me play Dota right now? I'm curious.
No, they're watching in Photoshop because that's.
How can we watch you play Dota? Tell me. What's the address?
Twitch.tv/sideox.
Oh, thanks for the font recommendation. Totally downloaded it. I'm going to add that. Thanks.
I just got a kill too, and you probably no one saw it because.
Oh wait a minute! I'm watching now.
Yeah, but it's too late. I already got the kill, and now the kill is over, and now I'm running around.
Okay, so what do I do now? What's our? Okay, everyone, thanks. I think we've got it. The dubstep remix is best at 2x speed. That is a good point. Thanks so much for hanging out. I'm going to leave the hangout, but I will keep the chat room open. So if you want to chat a little more, let's keep it going. Thanks, everyone. The party continues on Twitch.tv. What's your handle on Twitch?
Sideox. SIDEOX.
I tuned in and had a 5-second Intel ad, and then I watched for 3 seconds, and then now I have like a 15-second game ad. This is kind of annoying.
That's weird. And I don't even get paid for that shit.
So I just put it up in the comments. You can go watch Dave play there.
Is the quality setting 1050p? What the hell does that mean? There's no such thing as 1050p.
There is now. Shut up. I'm leaving.
16 by 10 monitor, so that's what it puts it at. I don't know.
Well, that's weird.
I didn't make this shit, dog.
Why isn't it 1080p? That doesn't make any sense at all. That's not even a thing. 1050p is not a thing.
Don't worry about what it is. Just do your thing.
I think someone in the Dude, someone just posted another one in the comments. Oh, we should end this thing now. Thank you. That's cool, but Justin won't let us use it. I do like that image of a panda, though. It's far better.
You're a panda. Oh, God. My teammates just died. Shitty teammates. Shitty noob teammates.
Well,
you know?
I'm going to click the end button now, so bye-bye. Thanks for joining us. And see you next week on our new domain when we tell you it.
For all the new people watching, thank you for joining us for the first time. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
For all the old people watching, I still hate you.
See, now Justin's admitted. I think that art might be better than mine. I think it's the picture, Justin. That picture is way better.
Me and Luna just got a kill for everybody watching. I'm sure you're excited. We killed Bounty Hunter. He's an asshole. He's a really good hero, and you need to take him out in the early game, or else he gets too much money and power, and then he crushes your face.
Should I click end now? I'm not sure.
Yeah, sure. Because anybody watching on Twitch can hear this on Twitch also, because I'm.
But then they won't be able to hear me.
Well,
why can't you broadcast your Twitch with a thingy into the Hangout?
What nonsense are you speaking?
You can instead of oh no you can't. You use a thingy on Windows to capture your game, and then you put it into your Google Hangouts.
I don't know if OBS supports Google Hangouts.
Oh.
Hey, look, it's the enemy's courier.
Does it not just produce a whatever? Right, I'm taking the feed offline. Bye bye.
I'm about to die. I died.